Cambodia or Malaysia? Which one will best suit your long-term needs and preferences? Today, friends, we will cover a broad range of topics, including cost of living, safety, healthcare, visa requirements, and more. So buckle up, friends, because we're about to start this epic comparison. Real quick, I'd like to thank you all, both new and returning viewers, for being here. If any part of this video pops out to you and you find helpful, please consider dropping a like and subscribe for more fresh content to come soon. Without further ado, let's jump into the first topic, which is a brief overview of the two countries, or a Cambodia and Malaysia overview. Geographically speaking, both countries are found in Southeast Asia and not too far away from each other either. In just 2 hours or less, you can take a flight between the capital cities, Phnom Penh and Kuala Lumpur. Cambodia is specifically located on the mainland of the Indo-Chinese Peninsula, with Thailand to the west and northwest, Laos to the northeast, and Vietnam on the east and southeast. Malaysia is about 1.8 times bigger than Cambodia and is comprised of two main areas: the west, or peninsular Malaysia, which also shares its borders with Thailand, then the east portion, located on the northern part of the Borneo Island and is home to the Sabah and Sarawak Malaysian states. Now for a quick island comparison, because why not? Cambodia overall has less, totaling 71 islands, while Malaysia has much more at almost 900 islands. But in both countries, you can enjoy beautiful beaches or the city life. There is a considerable difference in modern infrastructure and access to specialized healthcare. More to come soon on these topics. Both Malaysia and Cambodia have tropical climates with relatively high temperatures and humidity year-round, plus a wet and rainy season. So I mean, regardless of which place you choose, enjoying the warmth and sunshine will not be a problem. What about population and expat sizes? Cambodia's estimated population size is 17.6 million people, and Malaysia, it's almost 1.5 times larger, nearing 36 million people. Although kind of tricky to find the exact numbers, the expat community is over 100,000 in Cambodia and around 250,000 for Malaysia. As mentioned, it was a bit tricky finding research that was up to date. For those of you living in each of these countries right now, do those numbers seem right to you or far off? Okay, friends, now that we've covered a brief overview of each country, let's dive into more detailed topics by first looking at the cost of living. Both Cambodia and Malaysia have a considerably lower cost of living when compared to a Western country. But which one wins for having the lower cost of living? Honestly, it's quite comparable between the two places and will really come down to your location. Are you living in a downtown, suburb, or rural area? Also, the size of your living space and your personal spending preferences. Malaysia does have a very robust economy with a greater purchasing power of the local people, which could lead to an overall higher cost of living for certain areas. But then again, there's always ways to make your budget last, with great rental options in Kuala Lumpur for even as low as around $400. So I mean, it really comes down to the individual. If done correctly, a person could get by on as low as $1,000 a month in each country. It wouldn't be the most lavish lifestyle per se, but possible nonetheless. A more luxurious and more comfortable budget would be in the $1,500 to $2,000 a month range. When compared to the US, where I am from, this sounds too good to be true. So rest assured that your buying power increases greatly when you go from the US dollar to the Cambodian riel or the Malaysian ringgit. I personally noticed that the food in both places can be super affordable, like the hawker food courts in Malaysia. Don't worry, more to come on the topic of food later. Cambodia does have certain places that pull in a ton of tourists each year, so I do want to add a word of caution just to be careful at certain bars or pubs where prices can be jacked up to really high amounts. An example of this is when I was in Siem Reap. We noticed that some food items went up to the 10 or 20 plus US dollar range when we were at the famous pub street. But just outside of that area, super close, you can find cheap and delicious food for just $1 to $5. So there's really always ways to make your money last in each country. Alright, up next is the topic of safety. The Global Peace Index assigns a country a rank based on how safe and peaceful it is. Malaysia was previously in the top 10, but the new 2025 rankings have since come out, and it has moved down the list, but not by a lot. It's currently ranked number 13. Keep in mind that the lower the number, the more safe the country is, with number 1 being the most safe. Cambodia comes ranked at number 87. So Malaysia is the clear winner for this section. During my time in both countries, I did not feel unsafe, but regardless of where you live, make sure to take proper precautions against petty crimes such as theft and scams. ATM skimming fraud can happen too, so be careful to use ATMs that are only in secure locations such as in a bank or somewhere with CCTV cameras. Here's another crime rate comparison from Numbeo.com. We can see that overall, Cambodia has more casualties categories in the high or very high risk level. What about natural disaster risk? Fortunately, both are outside of the ring of fire, so both Malaysia and Cambodia are not typically directly hit by a typhoon. Both are at a higher risk of flooding, so just make sure to check with local communities to be up to date on emergency preparedness procedures. Okay, let's discuss the topic of infrastructure. I personally found that the overall quality and range of infrastructure from the telecommunications to transportation in Malaysia to be more modern and advanced than in Cambodia. Just a quick example, when first arriving in Kuala Lumpur, I was amazed to see the rail system, which consisted of many MRT and LRT lines. The city felt very robust. The downtown city center of KL is also breathtaking with its modern skyscrapers and of course the stunning Petronas Twin Towers. The capital city of Cambodia, Phnom Penh, is still a major bustling city and is undergoing significant development and modernization with subway lines planned too, so that's exciting. Here is a quick side-by-side comparison of the two city skylines. Take it in for a moment. I'm curious for those of you that have been to both capital cities, which one do you prefer in terms of infrastructure and connectivity? Please let us know in the comment section below. The next section goes hand in hand with infrastructure, which is why we'll go over it now. Healthcare quality and availability. From Statista.com, we can see the health and health systems of countries ranking worldwide. The score assigned to each country takes into account things such as overall health of the population and access to necessary services to maintain good health. The lower the rank, the better. Malaysia comes in at number 42 and Cambodia trails behind at 92. Just for reference, the USA is ranked 69 and the UK is 34. It's true that Malaysia is known for having top-notch medically trained doctors and staff, many of which are actually trained abroad, with high-quality hospitals and equipment too. So it's not a surprise that more than one of their hospitals showed up on the Newsweek article showcasing the world's best hospitals in 2025. As for Cambodia, I found that there are many 24-hour clinics and hospitals around, which is convenient, but even CDC.gov tells us that most medical facilities don't meet international standards. Many expats and locals in Cambodia will opt for more specialized medical treatment or procedures in surrounding countries like Thailand or Vietnam, or even Malaysia and Singapore. Hopefully, the access to high-quality specialized doctors can be more widespread in Cambodia in the future. Up next are a couple of topics that I really enjoy discussing. And the fun part is that either Malaysia or Cambodia could win. It'll come down to your personal preferences and what best suits you. First up is the culture and people. If you didn't know already, over 90% of the Cambodian population is Buddhist. For Malaysia, the largest religion is Islam at 63.5% of the population, followed by Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, and so on. So really in Malaysia, there's this vibrant blend of cultures that works really well too, and translates over to the food. We'll talk about food soon. Regardless of religion or beliefs, I think it's good to look at the qualities people possess and look for commonalities that include values like respect towards others and elders, compassion, and living a peaceful and loving life. When in Cambodia, I was always greeted with a big smile and found the people to be very laid back, humorous, and kind. Something unique I feel about Cambodia is that they have a very distinct cultural appeal, which has a Buddhist influence and also the Khmer civilization too. In Siem Reap, I was in awe while visiting the world's largest religious temple complex, Angkor Wat. There wasn't enough time in the day to see everything. It's definitely worth a visit. In Malaysia, there is a mix of cultures such as Malay, Chinese, European, and Indian. There are also over 300 festivals each year. I noticed the festivals firsthand and it was an exciting new cultural experience. Additionally, one of my best friends is from Malaysia and he is one of the most generous and thoughtful people. Something I love about Malaysia is that there are many different languages spoken, such as Mandarin Chinese. So my wife and I were able to communicate in Chinese in many cases in addition to English during our stay. Let's touch on that aspect real quick, shall we? Speaking English, and will there be a communication barrier in each country? So the official language in Malaysia is Malay, and for Cambodia is Khmer. During my time in Siem Reap, I interacted with many locals that spoke English quite well. But then again, I was in a tourist-heavy location, so there were many English-speaking tuk-tuk drivers and tour guides. But honestly, if you're looking for a bit more widespread English, then Malaysia probably comes out with the win. KL, for example, is a huge international business hub, so English is a must for many people. But I mean, in both countries, you'll notice that there are many young people learning English. Regardless of the place you choose, it's a good idea to pick up on either Khmer or Malay for basic communication needs, and it also enhances the relationships you make with the local people. Up next, friends, is another topic that may also come down to personal preferences and tastes. Yes, I literally mean your taste buds. Let's talk about food variety and local flavors. In Malaysia, there is a large food variety coming from all of the different ethnic groups and cultures mentioned previously. previously. Penang is considered the food capital of Malaysia and is famous worldwide for the variety and deliciousness of the food found there. I can attest to this myself and enjoyed a plethora of yummy cuisines. There's also a range of different food options in Siem Reap, but maybe not to the extent of Malaysia. Regardless of the country, in major cities you'll have access to Western food such as pasta, burgers, and more. So you can enjoy these foods and adapt to the local flavors at the same time. Speaking of which, what are the local flavor profiles with some examples? A couple of popular local dishes in Cambodia is the coconut fish, or amok, and the lok lok, Cambodian stir fry. The flavors range from sweet to salty, sour, and bitter. A popular sweet treat is a traditional Khmer palm cake dessert made with ripe palm fruit, coconut milk, rice flour, then steamed in banana leaves. As for Malaysia, the local food tends to have a generous blend of spices, so the flavor may come across as bold in the beginning, but again, it just depends on the dish. The Malaysian national food is the flavorful nasi lemak, featuring rice cooked in coconut milk and served with various things like peanuts, cucumber slices, etc. The ice desserts in Malaysia stole my heart, like the ice kacang and the sindal. Both are must-tries. For this topic of food, you've really got to try it out firsthand. It may take some time to adjust to some flavors, but that's a normal part of the process, right? And you may find yourself falling in love with them in time. I'm curious to get your thoughts, everyone. Do you prefer the cuisine in Malaysia or Cambodia more? Throw down your thoughts in the comment section. Tell us what you prefer and why. Okay, last but certainly not least is the visa process and requirements. The Malaysian My Second Home, or MM2H for short, used to be considered one of the best long-term retirement visas. But as many of you already know, the financial requirements have skyrocketed as of late. These hefty requirements have been a big cause of frustration for ordinary people who are planning to apply. And unfortunately, the same is the case for the Sarawak or the SMM2H visa, where the deposit has more than tripled at 500,000 Malaysian ringgit, which is about 111,900 US dollars. The regular MM2H for Peninsular Malaysia is split up into 3 categories. The silver level deposit is $150,000. Yes, USD, not Malaysian ringgit. Gold then jumps to $500,000, $500,000. And platinum, you may have guessed it, is a whopping $1 million. In addition to this, there are also big purchase real estate minimums. Feel free to check out the other videos on this channel where I go into more detail on the recent changes. Now compare that to the Cambodia visa process, which is considered one of the cheapest and easiest visas to apply for in all of Southeast Asia. You'll want to first apply for the E-class or ordinary visa type. Once in the country, you can then upgrade to the ER visa for retirees and just $300. Again, more details about visa options in Cambodia can be found in other videos on this channel. But when comparing the two countries' popular retirement long-term visas, the requirements and the costs are much better for the Cambodian ER visa. So Cambodia takes the win for this category. And real quick, what are your thoughts about the visa costs and requirements? Do you think they'll adjust the cost for the MM2H to become more affordable again? Alright friends, at the end of the day, Cambodia and Malaysia each have their own unique charm, and that's exciting. But you won't know which one is truly the best fit until you get out there and go experience it for yourself. Go to each place and spend enough time there to get a feel for what everyday life will be like. Don't be afraid to get a little adventurous. Try out the food, go on a hike, interact with the locals. As always, thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe to not miss out on more comparison videos like this one. Stay safe, y'all, and I will see you in the next one.